big thank you for joining us. We couldn't do this without you. Whether you're on YouTube, Instagram, or on Facebook, we are happy that you have joined us. And you don't have to join us alone. We're just getting started. There's still time for you to send it to a friend so they too can share in on our conversation. So go ahead and share. And be sure to follow and subscribe to our pages so you can get more updates from the NHT right at your fingertips. So today we'll be discussing the NHT's Housing Microfinance Loan Program. We'll be looking at some of the changes that have been made to the program and how these changes will benefit NHT contributors. And a bit later as well, we'll be hearing today a first-hand account of her NHT journey from Diana Plummer, how she became a homeowner with the help of the NHT. And a bit later as well, we will hear how you too can become a homeowner. We're giving you some tips, we're giving you some advice, and we will hear about the NHT's product offerings to get you there and some practical steps that you can take to get you from dream to keys. A lot we will be sharing over the next hour, a lot that you can learn to help you with your housing goals. So of course, stay with us. Our conversation begins on the other side of this break. Welcome back and thanks again for joining us for this, our third quarter webinar from the NHT. Now, the NHT has partnered with credit unions under a housing microfinance loan program to do what we do best, which is to provide financing for Jamaicans on their homeownership journey. Now, if you've never heard about it, I don't know how you could not. Well, now is a good time to, because the NHT has made some improvements to that loan product. So now you have more financing, more institutions you can get that loan from. And with me to discuss more on the housing microfinance loan is Loy Palmer, Assistant General Manager for Treasury Management at the NHT. Hi, Loy. Welcome.
Hi, Dwayne. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Let's start at ground zero.
So the Micro Housing Finance Program is a partnership between the National Housing Trust and our credit unions. So through this program, we target persons who earn $86,000 weekly or less. Right? With this program, you're able to access financing that will help you to do something related to your home. You spoke about from keys to home ownership. So this program actually helps persons who don't necessarily have as much income as other persons do. And where our focus is, of course, is on the lower income bracket. And through this program, you'll be able to go to your credit union and get some financing to help you to achieve that dream.
I think you kind of answered my next question already, but I'm still going to ask it, why credit unions? I heard it in your response just now, but why credit unions?
So, I mean, our credit union league, I mean, there are quite a few different credit unions. They have quite a big span. I mean, there's a networking and definitely home ownership, our credit unions, the smaller partners, of course, because we provide the financing, it helps them. So, of course, the small man who has his account at the credit union and, has been saving for a long time and may need to do something, nothing major, you can access some financing through the microfinance.
And you spoke about network, and really when you think about it, there's a credit union for just about everything in Jamaica. Many sectors, many industries, many professions do have a credit union. So I do understand that about reach. You also mentioned that it's for a wide set of housing related activities. Could you give us an idea perhaps of what some of those activities may be? Yes.
So there are different purposes that you can utilize this loan for. So it might be, you maybe want to purchase some land. You may have that title that maybe there's something that needs to be formalized. You can utilize this loan for it. If you want to do some upgrades to home, say for instance, you might be living with mommy and daddy and you maybe want to add a small room, you can utilize these funds to do so. And I mean, even for other persons as well, looking at, now a lot of persons are very focused on solar energy. If it is that you want it to, purchase a solar panel
Right.
or some batteries, you can possibly utilize the financing to do so. And just generally any upgrades, any infrastructural things that you might want to do at home.
You mentioned upgrades, infrastructure, home improvement related, but what if I'm none of those? Not a homeowner, I'm starting from zero. Is a program actually for persons who are not yet homeowners as well, or who are on the journey to become homeowners?
So this program is for persons who are on the journey. This program is also for persons who are homeowners. So there are some persons who fall within the income bracket who might have a home already, and they want to access an additional amount to do the solar panels, to do some construction. You can actually utilize this program to get the funding. Or suppose you want to make that deposit on the new home, you can actually utilize the funds in this program.
And that's very good, because that's a complaint we often get from people. They can find the financing, whether with the NHT and the NHT or another mortgage institution, but finding that initial deposit, that surveyor's ID, valuation report, legal fees is where the challenge comes in. So this amount, this microfinance loan program can be used for all of those as well.
All of those purposes, and of course focused on those persons who are earning less than the $86,000 weekly.
Okay, you mentioned 86,000. That's the benchmark for people who want to access the program?
Yes. So that's one of the new upgrades. So in terms of the program now, persons who are earning $86,000 or less can access the program. Now you can access up to 1.95 million for the life of the program. However, there's an adjustment as well, where your initial amount that you can access is 1.1 million. So at no point in time do you have a loan in excess of 1.1 million, but for the life of the program, you can access 1.95 million.
So in other words, I'm short $1 million for my deposit.
Yes.
I can get that $1 million from the housing microfinance loan program.
Yes.
And you're saying a bit later on in my home ownership journey, I want to fix up a bathroom, I want to fix up a kitchen, I can come back for another, my math's not great,
another
$850,000 that I can use at another point in my home ownership journey to make some improvements to that initial property that I have.
Yes, so I mean, we go along with you in that journey. So once you don't exceed $1.1 million on that loan at any given time, you can do the top up.
All right, so we touch on certain things. We touch on who can qualify, persons who earn less than $86,000 weekly.
Yes.
And that moved up from 42,000, I believe, earlier. Yes. Okay, great.
So that's over 100% increase,
Yeah, so more people now actually can benefit. Yes. More persons can actually benefit. So we touch on the income requirement. There is the amount moving from 1.1 to 1.95.
Yes.
Great. So what are the terms now? Let's talk about that. What are the terms under which I can get this?
So the great thing with the microfinancing housing program, we want to ensure that it's affordable as well. So you can either get a loan from your credit union, which is secured. That loan is at 6%.
Oh.
And if it's unsecured, meaning you have no collateral, that loan is at 9%. And the tenure for the loan should not exceed more than 5 years.
And if you put that in, that's really good, because if you put that in context, if you think about the interest rate on unsecured loans generally, let's talk about that. You're talking about interest rates in the teens or in the 20s even. So 9% is actually a very good, very sweet spot.
Very affordable, especially now as interest rates have been trending higher. It's actually quite attractive.
And 6% you said if that is secured.
6% if it's secured. So if you have a car, the credit union will kind of determine what the security is.
Right.
So once you have any form of collateral, which the credit union will accept, you can utilize it.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be the title that you're making available as the collateral to secure that loan, but any kind of security
your credit union will tell you, because it will vary dependent on the credit union, but they will guide you in terms of what collateral can be utilized. And it could be as simple as that little savings that you had at the credit union and the savings account, you can utilize it
You
for
can
the
use
loan.
that as security. Great. And the loan tenure, you said, is
5
5
years.
years. 5 years. Okay. Another question I hear my listeners asking them, and my viewers watching, asking that already. Is this separate from the NHT's standard loan limit of 7.5 or 8.5 million that the
Yes.
NHT offers? So to be clear, everybody, this is additional funding, not in lieu of.
Correct.
So in fact, you can actually get 7.5 plus 1.95 now
Yes.
if you're going to the market to buy a house, or if you're going to look at land and then do construction later.
Right.
Okay, so that's additional financing.
So it's a top up or it's the start for you?
And where can that financing be accessed? Who are the credit unions that we now have a partnership or a relationship with?
So the credit unions that we have a partnership with, so we have quite a few in our pool, but there are 6 that are operational.
Okay.
So we have Educom, we have Jamaica Public Sector Co-op Credit Union, we have LaSalle's Credit Union, we have CW&J Credit Union, we have the Jamaica Police Credit Union, we also have Essentials Credit Union, and the Jamaica Public Sector Credit Union. You can access it.
And of course, you don't have to worry yourself to try and remember all of them. There's a list on our website, nht.gov.jm. You can always head on over there and you can get the list of credit unions that we have this facility and relationship with.
Yes.
But we're also looking to expand that.
Yes, we are.
So
we're working with, I would say at this point, an additional 3 or 4 more credit unions should come online by next year. And we're in that process of, documentation, training. So I'm sure next year, as persons need to utilize the facility, we'll have more options for them as well.
And if you go to the NHT's website and you don't see a credit union there, give them a call. Tell them to reach out to Loy. She wants to partner with them, so you can also help you by giving your credit union a nudge to join us in this housing microfinance program. And if you could, Loy, and I mean, challenging you, what does this mean? I know being a homeowner is a big deal, so any financing that gets individuals a little bit closer towards that goes a far way. But in your words, what does this really mean for persons who are either, as we've said, going to the market with some housing goal, or perhaps a homeowner already looking to make some kind of improvement to their existing property?
So this program really means to me, it's close and very dear. The focus is on our low income earners. Just because you may earn a certain amount, you may feel that you're not able to access a home. You might not be able to tile the home, sort out the title. It gives persons the access to home ownership. It gives persons access to a better life, just in terms of the infrastructure that you have. So it definitely will resonate, I'm sure, with a lot of your followers. And, of course, we encourage them to, as you say, reach out to the credit unions, because we do want to provide the funding.
So just a quick summary of all that we've been discussing, NHT's housing microfinance loan program. New loan amount that you can get, we move from 1.2 to 1.95. New income requirement for accessing that program, moving from $42,000 weekly or less, move up to $86,000 weekly. So now more individuals can actually benefit under the program. There's one thing I want to touch on real quick, Laura, before you leave. Do you have to be an NHT contributor to actually access this?
So once you are registered and you've made a contribution to the fund, you can access it through one of our credit unions.
What if I'm not yet a contributor
and
I want to register to become a contributor tomorrow?
So you register tomorrow, make a contribution the next day, and go to your credit union.
For real?
Yes,
I don't have to wait
You don't have to wait
a
1 year.
like
No,
the regular
no,
NHT.
no.
So even if you're not a contributor currently, once you get registered, you're actually able and make a payment. You're actually able to access the facility right thereafter.
Yes.
Well, I don't think I can give you any more better news than that. More financing, a higher income band to access, so more people now fall in the group that can actually access that. And the sweetener, you don't have to be a contributor now, but you can be one tomorrow, and you're able to access your benefits soon thereafter. Yes. Thank you very much, Loy, for sharing with us on that housing microfinance program. Appreciate it, and I'm sure we're going to get some calls from some credit unions say, yeah, man, we're ready for join up. All right, thank you. So on the other side of this break, we will talk with Diana Plummer, an NHT homeowner who will be sharing her homeownership journey and how the NHT gave her the keys to her home. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Last year, my husband and I were seriously looking for a house to buy. We searched the Gleaner, we searched every website, we searched the NHT website, and we didn't have any savings. And we have a loan obligation, and being pregnant at the time, we were very nervous.
We actually had to wait until we found something in our price range, and we got the NHC checklist. It actually helped us a lot because they gave us all the things that we needed, the documents that we needed to take in, and they actually gave us access to our NHG contribution, which actually helped us to offset the deposit that we needed to down pay on the home. And when we got all our documents together, we got ready for the NHT loan
interview. Right. And when we spoke to the NHT officer at the end of the interview, she said, congratulations. We were excited, we were overjoyed, we were relieved.
This is actually a testimony for us, and we like to encourage people that we know and you, telling others that they can become homeowners as well. I am Kashif Blackwood.
And I'm Latoya Sams Blackwood, and this is the way we chose to buy our house through the open market. Thank you.
Welcome back to our conversation, and for those just joining us, welcome. And let me tell you, if you need assistance on your home ownership journey, we always want to support you. So our webinar provides all the tips on how to get it done, but also you can reach out to us via any of our social media platforms. Our customer service team will be happy to assist you. We won't be able to take your questions in this format, but you can visit the link in our description box, drop us a line, drop us your question, and a team member will, of course, reach out to you. So I promise you that we'll be hearing from an NHT beneficiary and her homeownership journey. So joining us is Diana Plummer, an NHT mortgager, and joining her as well is Kamisha Samuel-Smith, our marketing officer here at the NHT. Welcome, Diana. Welcome, Kamisha.
Always a pleasure.
So Diana, you're a homeowner.
Oh, yes, I am.
Tell me, what does that feel like?
It feels good. Really feels good.
How long have you been a homeowner?
This month, about 2-3 months, somewhere there.
Oh, so you're still fresh.
Yes.
You still have the new paint smell and
You
all of
cannot
that.
look black.
What was your motivation, though, to take on this?
Well, I have been trying since I was 19.
Wow.
Yes. But when I look back at that, it was funny, because I had no cash. I had just $1 million that I was
saving.
No, not saving. That was allotted to me from the NHD.
Okay.
Yeah, just $1 million. And that cannot buy a house.
I know, yes.
But I keep applying until I got the opportunity to buy some of the points back then. Yes, I bought points until that was put on a hold, standstill.
Yes, we don't buy points anymore.
So I'm that old.
You don't look it.
So therefore, I still apply. I went over to the St. Catherine branch just to change, to see if my luck will change. And I keep going every year to see where I'm at, how much I'm allotted. And, when I found out I could get like 3.5, I jump and I scream. Still couldn't buy a house. Still could not buy the house, but I keep at it. because I've been doing, well, I've been contributing to the NHD. The first day I started working, yes, it started back then. But, you know, I work in the private sector and then public sector. But, you know, sometimes the amount is not enough, you know. So therefore, I keep trying and I try and I try and I try and I try until I hit the jackpot.
So you're an NHT scheme beneficiary.
Oh, yes.
What was that process like for you?
Well, I went in when I got the call. I was so happy. It wasn't a call. I think it was an email I got because I got to understand that my union partnered with NHT through the government, and I was the one who actually got that house. You know? Yes. Okay. And therefore, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what to do with myself. Yeah. It's like, I scream, I jump, I scream, I jump, I call, and I said, hey, you jackpot, you jackpot. I said, please, don't say that. You've been trying for so long. Yeah.
And you know, you're, if anybody doubted that you scream and you jump, I can say she did. Because we travel across Jamaica delivering housing units to thousands of Jamaicans every year. But I remember you because as you walk across the stage, you shout out when you collect your keys. I remember that very vividly. So it's true. Diana did shout. She did scream. Kamisha, Diana mentioned something though. She mentioned a partnership with her union and the NHT, that she was able to be selected under that special benefits order. You want to tell our viewers a little more about that?
For every scheme that we have, we reserve a number of units for our public sector workers, nurses, teachers, even disabled persons. And so in order for you to be selected, of course, you'd have to be a part of your union to which your government entities assigned. And of course, let them know that you are house hunting, and if, you know, the NHT puts out a scheme, you should be considered. I'm sure Diana did that. She was so persistent. I remember this little saying that we had in school: heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, right? Yes. And Diana was very persistent and she kept at it, and of course through her union she was able to get one of the units that were assigned under our special benefits order. So if you're a soldier, you're a police, you're a public sector worker, and your union is a part of, well, and you're a part of the union, of course, please, as I said, ensure that you make it known to your union president or rep at your house hunting, and you should be at the top of the list, right?
And that special benefits order is not just for public sector workers. There are other categories of Jamaicans too that
disabled,
the NHT makes special allocation for.
Yeah, disabled persons are also among them as well.
And young professionals?
And young professionals, yes.
Right. So, and that's really because we know there's competition and there's a great demand on the NHT's scheme unit, so we try to stretch it and spread
balance it.
Right. So other people can also have an opportunity. But Diana, come back to you though. What was the process like going through the application and all that?
Well, I made 2 applications. I applied through the union and straight to NHD.
So you put 2 hats in the ring. 2
hats. And I got it.
Yes, and once you got the call in terms of the paperwork, the interview process.
No, it was an email that I got.
Yes, the email, sorry.
That said, congratulations.
And what was the process like that after you received that email?
I went in, I was given a time or a date to go in. I went in, and the process started. From then, you know, they started processing me and, you know, all those things. And then from there, when I got through, I still couldn't believe it.
Why you can't believe it?
I don't know, but I still couldn't believe it.
It's a dream come true.
Yes, it is. Because it feels good to own your own and than paying rent. Because, yes, at the end of the day, when you finish paying the mortgage, the house is yours. You pay the rent until you die. The house is not yours.
Yes.
right? So,
Yes.
yeah, it feels good. Really a good feeling.
And Kamisha, on that point, from Diana about that whole process, once individuals are selected for scheme units,
Yes.
I know we have a couple of schemes that we advertised recently. Some people waiting on the call or waiting on the email.
Right.
But hold what is really required from individuals having been selected?
Okay, so you would be emailed or called and given a package. You're going to be asked to complete some forms which are to be witnessed by Justice of the Peace and stuff that you have at home, your ID, your birth certificate, TRN, NIS, and those things. So you need to have those prepared and ensure that your names are spelled correctly across all your documentation. And at that point, you're going to be doing a preliminary interview to see if what you have put on your application is what it's correct. All right. So you come in, we do an assessment, ensure that you can afford it, and if you feel can't, there are other facilities that can assist as well. I'm sure you'll talk about that. And once you've passed the preliminary interview, then the next step is for us to ensure that you're not a homeowner. So we're going to do a title search, right? If you are married and your spouse is a homeowner, you do not qualify, right? So we do a title search. And then, of course, as soon as units are ready, we'll do the final loan interview, right? The issues that may come up is, you know, probably you can't confirm your contributions because, of course, with schemes, selection is based on the number of points you would have accumulated over your work life. And if the NHD doesn't have the record, and you may check with Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and they don't have the record, and you don't have a pay slip floating around or a letter from 1992 or whenever, then that's going to pose a challenge if you can't prove it. And another thing that I would say to our viewers, ensure that you keep your records, keep your pay slips, keep those letters that you get, the P1, what's the form called?
P45.
P45, right? All of those things that show proof that you have been a contributor.
Right.
So what you said on your application form, which was the basis for your selection, you are now able to prove it. And once you can do all of that and present us with the documents that we require, you pass the stage, you don't own any property, right? Then, of course, when the time comes, you move from dreams to keys. Right.
From dreams to keys. And Diana has moved from dreams to keys. How has that transformed your life? What kind of impact has it had on you?
Well, it turned me into an ambassador.
An ambassador for the NHD?
Amen.
Say it a little louder.
It turned me into an ambassador for the NHD.
Yes.
There are some houses that was advertised for application the 21st or the 22nd, I think. And I succeeded with one person who made their application. You know? Yes, they applied. But the others, I guess they need to pay their contributions. Some of them pay and stop. And, you know, so they need to do that too. But one person applied. That's a start.
No, it is, because many people would actually sit back and say, you know, I'm not going to bother, you know, waste some time. I don't think I can, but if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. You don't put in an application, you don't really have an opportunity now, do you? So take Diana's advice, ensure your contributions are up to date, and of course, apply when you see the schemes listed. I was going to ask you for any tips or advice, but I think you gave them already, Diana. But Kamisha, I want to ask you though, I know schemes are in high demand for individuals when it comes to NHD products, especially because of that price point that most NHD developments come in at. But for the person who may be applying and think, okay, this now makes no sense, what's your advice for that person?
I would say still apply, okay? If you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. However, diversify your search, okay, and look at the different options that are available. You may have to buy in the open market, and that's fine, okay? And I know that the demand for NHT scheme solutions are very high because they don't have to come out of pocket with a deposit if your income can afford it, because they do 15 million, right? Million financing. Of course, if it's more than that, you'd have to find additional money. But there is a possibility of buying a house, there's a possibility of buying land and doing your construction. And so do not limit yourself to a scheme. When I speak to persons, they say they're applying, they're not getting through. I say, what else are you doing? Are you looking to find something on the open market? Are you looking at the different entities that may have repossessed houses? Are you visiting those public auction sales? Have you looked at the NHT's private treaty listing? Are you working with realtors and all of that? So there are options.
And what I hear you saying is an active process.
Very
the house
active
not going
process.
to drop in your lap.
Yes, and Dwayne, you know what I remember when I was buying my first car. Before that, I wasn't interested in cars. I take my boss and I go about my business. But when I was ready to buy a car, I saw every car. I went to car mart after car mart. It's the same thing, right? So you have to be very persistent. Like Diana, right? Diana did not give up at all, right? And even she heard it was $1 million, she went back until she heard 3 million. I mean, life will change and your circumstances will change. And so you need to position yourself that you can take advantage of the opportunities that may arise in the market. Somebody might be selling a little fixer-upper, right? It might not be in one of those nice high-rise buildings or up, wherever with views, right? But it might be a fixer-upper and it might have the roof looking a little way and the paint peeling from the wall, but it is in your price point and you have to see beyond the physical and you have to see what it can be, see the possibilities that can come out of that. And so I say to the viewers, please be actively searching and keep an open mind. For some people, the journey might be a little easier, but for some, it's going to be a little harder. It's going to take a little more time, but still it is a possibility. Home ownership is a possibility for every Jamaican who really, really wants it to be.
I know there's something that we oftentimes don't consider, and Jamaica has a particular challenge where we have these parcels of land passing down through
from generation to generation.
Yeah, and
yes.
There's no proper titling for it, so nobody can capitalize on that. And something we learned in the previous section from law about our microfinance program, that you can actually access additional funding outside of your NHT loan limit to sort out the title. So I get what you're saying is what I'm saying, Kamisha, that you have to look at different options. Don't just think, okay, I want a scheme, and you don't think about nothing else. Or you think that, okay, I want something on the open market, but I don't see any price that fits my pocket. It requires some amount of savings too.
Get the title for that land that your grandfather left.
Sort out the land.
Right?
So get your microfinance loan, step 1. Sort out the land, step 2. Step 3, come back to the NHT for your build and own land.
Yes.
And you can go about your home ownership goal. Diana, anything else you want to share, probably based off your experience that can, our viewers can actually use?
Well, I keep pushing because I know that my time might not be God's time. So I keep pushing, right? Even though at some point I was expecting earlier, but then I keep encouraging myself that God's time is the best time, and therefore pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and then I realized it is His time, or it was His time, So I would encourage other persons to just keep trying. Try at it, because you can't get anything that you really want unless you try. You just have to try, right? And once you try, God will do His part, because He is for all of us. And He loves all of us.
Amen.
Right?
What is it that you're enjoying the most about your home ownership journey so far? I know you say it's been a couple months, but what is it that you're enjoying the most so far?
I'm enjoying the fact that When I get up in the morning to go to work and I look around, it's mine.
Yes.
It's mine, you know. When I get home and I open the door, it's not rent. You know? Yeah.
The independence,
yes,
that
nice.
is yours.
Yes.
Is yours.
Oh,
and,
yes.
and Kamisha, from your standpoint as a marketing and after sales officer, what type of support do we perhaps provide to individuals who are in the market, not quite sure how to navigate it, in terms of managing their expectation and managing, the process in terms of holding their hands while they go through it?
So we have the marketing and sales unit. We do a lot of community engagement, a lot of webinars, corporate tours, public sector tours, just informing our contributors of what to expect and how to prepare. And also, we would also partner with other institutions as well, our AFMP partners, for instances where you would need additional financing as well.
Right.
What do you do while you prepare? Because it's a process.
Right.
Saving, and you'll get advice from financial professionals that tell you what you need to do to save. And it's really shifting the mindset of our contributors so that they see possibilities and not limitations, and they know what to do. They are now armed with the information so that they can take that next step. So in marketing and sales department, that's what we do. We are informing the public. We are here. We've been established to assist you with your home ownership goal. That's our mandate. And so we simply arm you with the information and advise you and encourage you and persuade you to, no matter how long it takes, your journey is different from my journey. Exactly. It is a possibility.
And I like that, because many times people say, I want to buy a house. And you start asking the questions,
You're ready, they're not ready.
Have you started saving? No. Are you contributing to the NHT? Are you looking? And, you start getting, no, not really.
I'm not here about a scheme and I'm going to apply, but you have to be so deliberate and intentional when you are ready. And in previous programs, we've said that once you have that mindset and you are now ready to take that step, it takes a little time. For some people, it may take 2 to 3 years for the average person, and for some, it may take longer. But it doesn't matter how long it takes you, you need to stick to it and continue your saving and continue your search. And, you say you're financially literate, that's a talk that's going around now. Well, we need to be housing literate.
Yes.
Right?
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. Thank you very much, Kamisha. And big up yourself, Diana. Congratulations again. And I hope that home is not just a house, but it really is a home.
It's a home.
And I know you're making it your home. I know you put out your pretty curtain. I know you fix it up real nice.
Still fixing.
You're still fixing.
Oh, yes.
And worse, we're going into Christmas, you have fix up some more. It's going to look extra special, don't?
Well, for Christmas, no, I think I'll be spending it with family.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So
that's part of the season too.
Yes.
So, yeah, part of the things we do in the season. Get out of the house and go meet with people. But enjoy the journey, Diana. And congratulations.
Thank
again.
you.
We talk about fix up, we talk about Christmas coming. Christmas means fix up for a lot of people. New Year means new house, new goals. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking about the many ways you can actually use your NHT benefits and those tips I promised you on how to help you on your home ownership journey. Whether you're fixing up, whether you're looking for something new, whether you want to build, stay with us. We're talking about that right after the break.
We are here to break ground for 60 two-bedroom housing units at Sheffield Palms in Westmoreland. These 60 units are part of an overall development consisting of 113 housing units. Now, we are planning to do 4,500 new housing solutions for the parish of Westmoreland.
By being our finance partners for this project, the National Housing Trust has stayed true to its mission to improve the quality of lives of Jamaicans by facilitating home ownership, particularly among low-income individuals and families.
The mantra we have adopted at the National Housing Trust is that we do not just build homes. We aim to develop holistic and sustainable communities. Future residents of Sheffield Palms can expect no different and look forward to a well-built development outfitted with green spaces and recreational areas to make life more comfortable and enjoyable for them and their families.
Welcome back, and we're now in the final segment of our presentation, and this time around we are discussing how to use your NHT benefits. Joining us again is NHT's Marketing Officer, Kamisha Samuel-Smith, and also Chartered Accountant, Patricia Henry, but we all know her as Budget Auntie. She has a beautiful home ownership story, but she's not delving into that today. She's telling us a little bit about some tips, some tricks, some trades that we can use to get us on completing and accomplishing those home ownership goals. And we just heard a lot of goals a while ago, Kamisha and Pat. People who want to expand, people who are searching, people who are planning, people who are at different stages along the journey. Yet. Some say they're not ready yet. Some say, okay, I need to do a little bit more planning, so let me use 2024 for that and jump back in. But let's talk about that a little bit in that segment, especially now, this time of the year. We're heading into Christmas, and after Christmas comes New Year. So Christmas generally means fix up for some people. For some people, it's starting that New Year's resolution as well, into getting into their home ownership goal for 2024. But let's start with the fix-up people first. Kamisha, what are the NHT product offerings, perhaps, that can help people with some of those goals that they have?
Okay, so we have the home improvement facility. And home improvement, it could be someone, you're a home owner, but you've never accessed your benefit from the NHT, or you're a home owner, but you've accessed that benefit a number of years ago, probably 10 years if you're a government employee, or 15 years for all other categories of contributors. You can access 3.5 million to do the spruce up, right? Mm-hmm. Fixing the roof, renovating your bathroom, your kitchen, building your fence, right? And that facility is not only for home improvement purposes, but you can do expansion to the existing building as well. You can use it to install storm shutters. You can use it to purchase the solar energy system as well, pay JPS less, right? And eventually get off the grid, right? So those facilities are available when you're talking about home improvement. Yes, 3.5 million, 2 persons can co-apply, 7 million. Yeah, you can get it for that.
So we sort out the financing.
Yes.
3.5 you can get from NHT, and I'll continue to plug Housing Microfinance till whenever. Yeah. So you get another 1.95 through Housing Microfinance again. So you're almost, math's not good enough, I tell you. You're actually past 5 million that you can use for home improvement purposes. But Pat, it's now a good time to be considering upgrades to the property this time of year. I know a lot of people do it, but generally, is this a good time of year to be considering upgrades to property from a financial planning standpoint?
Why not? Jamaicans love to fix up at Christmas time. And so if you can get your hands on reliable workmen, and the operative word is reliable, at this point, 25 days to Christmas, why not? It could mean painting. Look at this beautiful living room that we're sitting in. It could mean some light paints on the wall. It could mean renovating a bathroom. It could mean backsplash, for lighter things, and then prepare and get ready to also big renovations next year. So usually at this time, maybe building materials are up, but usually when building materials are up, many times contractors would go down on prices. So you have to negotiate and see what you can do between now and Christmas time.
I didn't know that, but that's a tip. That's my first tip.
Yes.
and I'll take that one.
Yes.
But you know, you mentioned workmen, Pat. You mentioned cost of labor, and I see some people long up their mouth. Woof! Some people don't like workmen in them space. I see Kamisha giving me a side eye.
I was
too.
trying not to show my emotion.
Yeah, but we have a little time, and I mean, dad or your nephew and thing can come together and you do some painting.
Yeah.
And when we talk about renovation, you can also think about your outside space. You can look at your curb appeal and get all of that ready. Rain has been falling. You can use some fertilizer, cut some shrub, yes. You can also fix fences and just create a nice outdoor space to enjoy good time with family and friends for the Christmas.
So there are some DIY projects that you can do, some small ones that...
Because we have 25 days and you ask
can handle.
specifically between now and Christmas, you can get your water heater installed. Maybe that is not so much in demand at this point in time. I'm not sure. So if you can find some good workmen at this time, reliable, you still have the opportunity. You have the money already. Why not?
You start talking about construction or you start talking about renovation, anything that's over a protracted period of time, and people get a little bit scared because it seems so overwhelming, like a little bit too much to manage. Any tips you can give and advice you can give where that is concerned?
Well, you have to start small and build up. So you would have been saving, I guess, throughout the year, or you could access your NHT benefit. January, for instance, you get your NHT refund, and so you would be planning for these things and really renovating over time. So you're taking it off in bite sizes instead of doing everything all at once, I would say.
And any kind of support does the NHT provide where that is concerned, Kamisha, for people who are probably a little bit intimidated by that whole construction process?
Okay, so we have the projects department. After your loan is approved, you're going to be moving on to your project officer, who we do provide advice. While we can't give you the workmen, we can say to you, you need to make sure that you are planning properly. So if you are going to renovate your bathroom, you need to know what it's going to cost to renovate your bathroom. So you need a bill of quantities and a detailed estimate of what the labor and material will cost. And this is a part of your planning process. But sometimes when you sit in front of the project officer, you're thinking about all of those things, all right? And we guide you, and we say, the officer will say to you, look out for these things. The steel work must be such and such, you know, and you need to make sure that they're doing so and so and visit the site, right? So we do provide advice. Again, it's our investment too, and we want to ensure that the building is structurally sound. So we give that advice. So we don't just leave you and give you the money. We say shop around the different hardware stores, you know, and if you can cook a pot of curry goat and some banana and get your uncle, right, so that you save on the labor cost. Probably you can't save so much on the material cost, but on the labor cost you can do it. And some things you can do by yourself. You can paint for yourself.
I always tell people, I saw my mother build a house using people in the community.
Right.
You know, Labor Day means you should cook our nice food and everybody come and throw a hand. Right,
and if you're getting your loan from NHT, you'll have cash instead of using card. Some of the hardware even charge you a percentage, 2 or 3% if you use card, your credit card. So you're getting cash from the NHT, so you're also going to use that and pay by cash and save. Everything counts.
On that point, what was the kind of financial planning really, Pat, that really people should consider before they even approach NHT for whatever benefits they're entitled to? What does the individual need to ensure that they get done before they even thinking about renovating?
So at the start of the year, we all should be looking at our goals. Many of us want to lose weight. Some want to take a course. But you should also set financial goals. And one financial goal is also budgeting. How are we going to budget in? And it's a matter of looking at our income month by month and our expenses, and do some allocation using the 50-30-20 principle. 50% towards our needs. So it's the rent, the mortgage, the children's school fee, food, utilities.
Things we can't do without.
Things you can't do without. And then you have the 30%, which is pretty much your wants. You know, the hairstyle, the nails and things, and vacation. Fun must always be in the budget. That's important. Even if you're paying a big mortgage, you must leave some room for fun. But no matter how much you earn, you should be allocating a 20% towards your savings. That's very important, and it doesn't matter how much you earn. You also have to save. That's how you create wealth over time. And so it's that 20% you're going to put in some sort of a sinking fund, and that is what you could use for renovations, you know, down the line.
And even for the person, we've been talking a little bit about home improvement, but even for the person who is looking to become a homeowner in the new year, 2024.
Excellent.
The same principle applies.
Yes.
You know, we've talked a lot about where property prices are, so it's a given that we need to be doing, you know, some amount of
actively saving that down payment as well.
And on that note of saving too, Pat, people may ask, okay, save what? They probably may thinking, you know, I'm a little stretched already. Can I really do any amount of saving, you know, from what I currently have? So
things are hard everywhere, not only in Jamaica, but you have to edge out this inflation. And the way to do that is to look at your income and expenditure. And if you're not keeping up, something have to change. So people ask me a lot, but I don't have any money to save. You have to find the money to save. It means eating out less, perhaps, and just look at your budget. They say if you think it, ink it. Write it down and see where you can carve out something. It could mean that you have to increase your income. So you may have a 9-to-5 job, but maybe you're good at plants. You can sell some plants. You can plant some herb, and I mean rosemary. And
thanks for that clarification.
Yes,
thank you very
rosemary. And basil, you know, you can plant those things. If you're a good baker, it's Christmas time, you can bake and sell. You can do alteration. I have a alteration lady. That's all she does. She don't sew. I buy my things. They are big. She stitches the side. She inserts something. I pay her 2,000, 3,000. It adds up.
Yes.
You know, so there are means and ways. You have things lying around in your house right now that you could sell and make some money. We change mobile phone all the time, and the old phone is sitting there. Maybe you can get a $10,000 from it. Just saying. So there are many ways that we can look at to see how we can increase that income.
And as we and taking past advice, you know, looking at what are the things that I'm probably spending that I really don't need to spend on? And, you know, where can I get some additional income using my skills, my talents? Kamisha,
you could be teaching public speaking. You could, you know, if you
want to be you want to be my financial manager, Pat?
I could.
Because I could do with some more money.
And then I could do with some more money. Yes, you could also like teach instrument, children.
Music,
Listen, music. Parents love to see their children performing. You could teach that on the side and make some extra money. Every one of us have some innate talent that we can offer and make money from.
And Kamisha, that, I mean, we think about the housing process, and a lot of people, when they see the costs involved, some don't even see the costs involved.
Wow.
So there's some amount of planning that needs to take place, and using, you know, that advice, it helps as well. You know, you're going to need a deposit, you're going to need some amount of fees. Yes, NHT has contribution refunds towards deposit. Don't forget that. That also helps in terms of offsetting some of those costs. And that refund that you're looking to collect January 1, don't just rush and collect it. You probably should just save that. That's my word of advice to you.
Yes.
But Kamisha, that there are costs involved along the journey, and you know, that sometimes helps people to know how prepared they are. That you're looking at you know, savings, but you're also saving with a goal in mind. How can people balance those two?
Well, the first thing, again, you have to be armed with information. So if I have a goal, and I know that if I want to live in Portmore, I'm going to be buying a house probably between 15, 20 million. I need to have a 10% deposit at least, and I also need to plan for the expenses that are attached to this purchase. My attorney fees, so attorneys usually charge between 2.5% and 3%, so I have to budget for that. I need my sale agreement, I need my valuation report, I need my surveyor's report. How much does that cost? Is it a percentage of the property, or is it a fixed cost? So you need to be doing your research. If you're doing home improvement, some costs are associated with that as well, because you would also need, if you're coming to the NHT, you need your surveyor's ID report. You have to make sure that your property taxes are up to date. So if you're, you know, in arrears, you know, you need to go and pay that. If you're going to be doing expansion, you may need the expansion plan to be approved by the parish council. You need to pay the architect. So when you know what to prepare for, then you are saving intentionally, because it is clear what your goal is, and you know you need to have at least a certain amount of money, and it helps. So what we do is provide the information, and of course we can direct you to the different stakeholders to which we work very close with, to say, you know, you can check out this one, you can check out this one, and please, in also preparing, you need to really shop around, just like when you're buying your shoes, right? And your nice stuff for Christmas. You go Bashco, you go Mega Mart, you go to wholesale, you go to Fontana. You have to do the same thing as well. You have to go to several different places and get the best possible price. So preparation is very important.
And might I add to Camille that you mentioned Portmore, but that might not be the final destination.
Yes.
So you start at Portmore, and then you build up equity in your property, and at some point you can flip and move up the property ladder. Let me leave the conversation there.
That's right.
I know we say it all the way, that our home ownership is a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
You start somewhere, but where you start is not where you probably have to end up.
Do not despise small
Yes.
beginnings. Tell you, the equity, when that moves in your favor, that is what's going to help you to move to somewhere else.
You know what I remember?
Very important.
On her point, Caribbean Estate in Portmore.
Right.
The first set of units were for 4-point-something million.
Yes.
And if you had bought a house, a 2-bedroom in Caribbean Estate, you'd be making up to 4 times that amount now.
4?
That's conservative.
That's conservative. I am coming from I used to live in Long Mountain, and I cannot tell you how much I sold that house for that I bought for 4.5 million.
An original Caribbean Estate unit probably sells closer to
Crazy.
30 million today.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Look at
more
that.
than 4 times.
So
More
buy,
than 4 times.
buy the fixer-upper, buy the studio, buy the 1-bedroom. It's a great start for a great future.
Jump in the market.
Jump in the market somewhere.
I was at a house in Clarendon, and someone came in, and it was a studio, a very small studio, and he said, you know, my settee can hold and my bed can hold and everything, but eventually you would be able to expand.
Right.
Yes.
Microfinance
So
again.
start.
Microfinance,
Yes. So start. That's all you need to do. Start.
You have to start. It's much better. Having some concrete in an area is much better than your money in the bank.
And don't be afraid to plan and start the journey. Don't bite sizes.
Yes.
You know, you spoke about bite sizes as it relates to the construction process if you're doing, you know, renovation, etc. But I think it's the same when it comes to buying as well. Start saving first.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tell people it took me 5 years of saving.
Right.
I knew what my goal was, and it took me 5 years of saving. And I saved everything I could possibly save.
Excellent.
Everything I could possibly save. So it is possible. It requires a little
discipline.
I have a team member who always say elbow grease. It requires a little bit of planning and sticking to the journey. It doesn't happen overnight. But you're on a journey.
Yes.
The journey to
and
buy,
you get there.
And the journey doesn't stop when you buy.
Right.
As Pat says, you can
move
flip
up the
it.
property.
Flip and buy something nice, and flip and buy something nice, and keep going and going and going until you move from no home to dream home.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know what else to tell you. If you haven't gotten enough advice, enough tips already, that is going to make you look at your 2024 a little bit better in terms of going along that home ownership journey. The only other thing I can tell you is reach out to us. We have more tips and more advice that we can give you. But I think that's all we have time for right now. Thank you so much for joining us for another housing webinar. We are finished on this forum, of course, but remember, we want to keep the conversation going with you. So drop us a line and be sure to follow us on all socials. Reach out to us there. Don't miss out on the NHT happenings. We'll tell you when the schemes are available, when you can put in your application and all that. So it's been my pleasure hosting you today. Until next quarter, have a great season, and thanks very much for watching, and all the best for the new year.
Oh, every time I pay the rent, it feel like the money could have been better spent. I want something for my own. I want to turn the key and I own a home. They make it so convenient when you contact the NHT. No matter your home ownership goal, you can get a loan easily. If owning a home is what you want to do, NHT is here for you. Delivering more.